It's a simple plot. The wife is a bit of an alcoholic. The husband stands by her. The marriage is tested. Love prevails. Simple. But I'm going to tell you today there's a hidden message in this film that most people miss. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Many of us have watched the 1994 film When a Man Loves a Woman that's starring Andy Garcia and Meg Ryan, and remember it as this classic romantic film. And if I was to ask you what the film was about, you'd probably say, oh yeah, it's a simple plot. The wife is a bit of an alcoholic. The husband stands by her. The marriage is tested. Love prevails. Simple. But I'm going to tell you today there's a hidden message in this film that most people miss. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Welcome to Kikao. So as the movie starts, we're introduced to the couple and the family. Alice, who is played by Megan Ryan, is a elementary teacher. She's loving, she's energetic, she's emotionally present with the children. And then you have Michael, who's Andy Garcia, and he's depicted as this devoted husband. He's a cool airline pilot, and on the surface their marriage looks solid. You know, it's a typical family. They got 2 kids. It's a typical, beautiful, happy family. But slowly the cracks start to show. Alice drinks heavily. Her drinking escalates from a mere coping mechanism to a dependency. Michael notices but minimizes it. He rationalizes it and quietly compensates. Alice's drinking, though, causes her to be involved in a serious, near fatal accident, which forces the truth to come out. As a result, Alice then checks into rehab and subsequently joins Alcoholics Anonymous, AA. And for the first time, she's forced to confront her reality. You know, she is forced to confront her addiction. She is forced to confront her emotional avoidance and her fear of inadequacy, not being enough. Michael, meanwhile, stays at home with the children and suddenly faces a powerful realization. His identity has actually been built around being needed. He hasn't actually been helping Alice. He's been enabling her, and her recovery threatens his particular role in the relationship. Now, as Alice begins to grow stronger, Michael really just begins to unravel. As Alice grows more independent, she gains more independence, Michael grows resentful and angry and just insecure, really. We start to realize that Michael's so-called support of Alice was partly about control. He derived his self-worth, really his identity in this relationship, by being the rescuer. It's only after losing Alice that Michael finally confronts his own emotional insecurity and immaturity. He attends a support group and finally admits that he didn't really love Alice for who she was. He loved being indispensable, being needed, and he feared intimacy without that dependency. Though the story does end with them back together, the relationship is very different. They're 2 very different people. They've grown, and I almost think that the writers of the film spared us that heartache of the obvious reality of such relationships, which is the 2 parties, after growing apart and changing so drastically, usually tend to separate. But in Hollywood style, they do get back together, and we're spared that heartache of seeing Meg and Andy Garcia apart. That aside, there are some very useful lessons I would like to point out. The first one is love can be a disguise for control. Michael believes he's loving Alice selflessly. In reality, he is safest when she is weak. Being needed is not the same as being loved. Secondly, there is that provider myth. Us men are taught that love is earned through sacrifice and loyalty comes from endurance. We're expected to suffer in our relationship, that way demonstrating our commitment and our love. I think the hard truth is that just providing, keeps the household going, but it doesn't keep the relationship alive. If the person you love no longer needs saving, who would you be to them? Would your relationship survive if nothing needed fixing? Sometimes the bravest thing a man can do is stop being the hero and learn how to be present.